ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम।
दंडवत प्रणाम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 Hare Krishna. So welcome to today's Bhakti Shastri session. Hare Krishna. So we're going to start today chapter number 10. Sorry, chapter number 3. Nobody protested. Chapter 3. We're going to start today, right?
3.17
3.17 to
31
31.
43.
43. That is the end of the chapter.
Yes.
Okay. 17 to 43. So, as you know, the two ways of proceeding for Bhakti Shastri. One is that we go through every line of purport of Srila Prabhupada. That's my preference. But the other way is to just concentrate on few portion of the purport and discuss about them. And so that is the other way of approach. The first approach better works when you all have already gone through once. So it's easy for both of us. Okay. So let us start from sloka number 17. Please, for the next couple of hours, I would request your 100% attention on the Shravanam. Give your 100%. Bhagavad Gita 3.17. Please unmute and repeat after me. Yastavatma ratir eva swa
यस्वात्मरति एव स्वात्
atma triptascha manava
आत्मतृप्तश्च मानव
atmanneva cha santushtas
आत्मनि एव च सन्तुष्टः
tasya karyam na vidyate.
तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते।
Okay. Translation. But for one who takes pleasure in the self. Mute, Manita Prabhu. Whose human life is one of self-realization and who is satisfied in the self only, fully saturated, for him there is no duty. Okay, there is no obligation. There is no obligation that he has to follow Varnashram. For whom? For one who takes pleasure in the self, like Sukhdev Goswami, self-realized person. Jada Bharat. Purport. A person who is fully Krishna conscious and is fully satisfied by his acts in Krishna consciousness no longer has any duty to perform. Now, what kind of duty is this? Any kind of material obligatory duty. He is not bound to do. Due to him being Krishna conscious, all impiety within is instantly cleansed. Please give me words for impiety. Very good. Kolush Mukta to translation holo Bangla. Please give me some word for impiety. Piety means pious work. Impiety means sinful work. So a person who is in Krishna consciousness, he is automatically sin free. Is it understood?
कलमश.
आप हिंदी दे रहे हैं, मैं आपको दूसरा सिनोनिम्स मांग रहा हूँ impiety का. Piety, pious. Piety comes from the word pious. So impiety would mean sinful activities. So a person, what is it written? A person, due to him being Krishna conscious, all impiety within is instantly cleansed. खत्म हो जाता है जितना भी sins है, as an effect of many thousands of yajna performances. So compared to, like, this would take thousands and thousands of yajnas to come to get sin free. But when a person comes into Krishna consciousness, slowly his all sins gets eradicated. By such cleansing of consciousness, one becomes fully confident of his eternal position in relationship with the Supreme. His duty thus becomes self illuminated by the grace of the Lord. And self illuminated. Understood? He knows what is his duty is. His duty is to serve the Supreme. And therefore, he has no longer has any obligation to the Vedic injunctions. He did not follow any Vedic injunctions because 93% of the Vedas talk about karma kandas. There is no need for any karma kanda, like pleasing the demigods, pleasing the forefathers. There is no need for a Krishna conscious person. Such a Krishna conscious person is no longer interested in material activities and no longer takes pleasures in material arrangements like wine, women, and similar infatuations. Please go through any sentence which is not clear. So such person is not interested in, no longer interested in any material activities. Like I'll give you examples. Like Prahlad Maharaj, it is written he would never, at his free time, he never used to play with kids, with other kids. So many other such Sukhdev Goswami, yeah, self-realized people. They will not do anything which is not spiritual in life. They will not do. Yeah. Any questions from this purport? Sloka number 18. नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो न कृतेनेह कश्चन
नाकृतेन इह कश्चन
न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु
नाच्च सर्वभूतेषु
कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रया.
कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः
A self-realized man, again, a self-realized man. What would be the synonyms here? A devotee, okay, a Krishna conscious person. These are synonyms, understood? No, self-realized person. Now, is it very different from a devotee? So, here we are talking about devotee. Has no purpose to fulfill in discharge of his prescribed duties. He has no purpose. So, nor has he any reason, same point, nor has he any reason to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being, because he is Atmaram, a self-realized person, a devotee. For a material person, he needs others for sense enjoyment. For a self-realized person, he is Atmaram, he is self-satisfied. So a material person, how he takes enjoyment? He either goes to pub, he goes to some movie theaters, he goes to some place to play with other friends. So he needs others for enjoyment. But a self-realized person, he doesn't need others. He's Atmaram, self-satisfied. Purport. A self-realized man is no longer obligated to perform any prescribed duty, save and accept activities in Krishna consciousness. Save and accept means accept. Only thing is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in the following verses. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation. Sufficient. Whatever obligations are there, who are we obligated to? Please give me the list of the peoples we are obligated to. One by one. Raise your hands and give me one answer. Each one give one. Yes,
family,
Jai Madhu Prabhu.
The forefathers.
Abhishek Prabhu.
family,
Anybody else? Who are we obligated to? Shatarupa Mataji.
হরে কৃষ্ণ প্রণাম প্রভু। প্রভু বাংলায় প্রশ্নটা একটু বলবেন তাহলে চেষ্টা করব।
আমরা কাদের কাছে ঋণী? Yes, demigods. Okay, these are the people we are obligated to. আমাদের
যারা জন্ম করেন,
sorry, I didn't get you. কি বলুন?
ঋষিগণ,
প্রভু প্রকৃতির
Yes.
কাছে।
Prakritir kache, very nice, very good example. That's a wonderful example. Prakriti to the nature. But when we are indebted, actually Prakritir kache mane devotar kache. Because every aspect of Prakriti is controlled by a demigod or a goddess, correct? Yeah. But a Krishna conscious person need not repay these loans. Because Justim Tushta Jagat Tushta. Because he is watering the roots of the plant, he need not water every twig, every leaf, every fruit, every branch, every sub-branch of the tree. There is no need. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, any man or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation. Any question from this purport? 100% clear? Yes, Rajiv Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, when we say this, that we are no longer indebted to anyone. So when we come to Krishna consciousness, so is there a chance to have a escape mentality that anywhere, like if we are indebted to someone, then we have lot of actions to do. Now we take the escape route that okay, now it is we have this path. So how to save ourselves from that escape mentality?
Very nice. So it should be spiritually driven. Your actions should be spiritually driven. What I mean is, I'm understood, spiritually driven. It should not be materially driven. Means out of laziness, you want to give up all your obligations to your parents, to your families, relatives. No, karna parega, sabko dikhna parega. My goodness, have to go and earn early morning. Even earning takes 14-15 hours, isn't it? Isn't it? 50% to 60% of 24 hours goes behind earning. Oh, useless. Rather I be living in a mud. Udhar khana pina rehna mil jayega. I don't have to work. No, this is an escape mentality. What is the driven motivation? Pleasure, sense gratification. The motivation is not to serve the Lord. Am I understood? If
Yes.
the motivation is for a higher purpose, Gauranga Mahaprabhu also took retirement from family life. Why? The motivation was to preach the society. So it was spiritually driven. Anyways, he's Supreme Lord. But because he came as a devotee, so the motivation was spiritually driven. So for a higher purpose, lower purposes can be sacrificed. Again. Yeah.
Yes.
Good question. A lot of people, they renounce thinking spiritual life to be easy path. No work, aram se khao piyo, rest karo. Then when they join ashram, they see, oh my goodness, here also I have to do all sadhana and I have to again preach, go out, book distribution, etc. My goodness. And then they fail here. Why? Because their choosing the ashram was not spiritually driven. It was materially driven. तो लास्ट में ना घर का ना घाट का रह जाता है. But remember one thing, there is no loss. Even if a person renounces material life, comes to spiritual life full time, but is not able to continue spiritual life full time, still remember there is no loss. He's in a better position than a person who never tried anything in spiritually. We went through that shloka. Taktva swadharmam charanam bhujam hari bhajan apakvo. Remember? He came into Krishna consciousness, but he was bhajan, his sadhana was apakvo, yani paripakvata nahi tha. Then what happened? He failed here also. But the Shastras say, where is the loss? Where is the loss? Are we all on the same page? Please respond. Otherwise, I feel very sad. I don't know. I feel that everything is flying over your head. Respond. Please respond. If you don't understand, raise your hand. I can ask. I mean, I keep on telling this 1,000 times.
প্রভু এই শ্লোকটা স্বল্পমপি ধর্মস্য যে শ্লোকটা ওটাও মানে এরই সাথে
नेहा विक्रमणा स्वस्ति प्रक्त वायुना विद्यते स्वल्पम अप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायतु महते उभयात् একটু ভজন কীর্তন করলে स्वल्पम अप्यस्य थोड़ा भी कर लिया बड़ा बड़ा डेंजर लाइफ से मुक्ति हो जाता है लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल अजामिल थोड़ा भजन कीर्तन कर लिया पिताजी के साथ ड्यूरिंग हिज चाइल्डहुड बस वही चीज बचा लिया उसको दैट इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ नेहा विक्रमणा स्वस्ति श्लोका Sloka number 19. Tasmadasakta satatam. Please repeat everybody. Karyam karma samachara. Asakto hyacharam karma. Param apnoti purusha. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty. For by working without attachment, one attains the supreme. Okay. Now, here we are talking about material duty. So we should do our material duty without attachment. So whatever duty we have towards our family, we should do that without attachment. There should be affection, but not attachment. I repeat, there should be affection towards family duties, family members, but not attachment. So out of affection, you can do all the whatever duties, but don't get attached. Entangled mat ho jana. What happens? Problem is you will never try to come out of it then. There is a time when you have to give up. It's like Abhimanyu, when he went inside the Chakravyuha, what was the problem? The problem was he did not know how to come out of it. Correct? You all know, na? He knew the talent of getting inside the Chakravyuha, but not to come out of it. Similarly, when a person goes inside the family cycle of life, before entering the family, that is Grihastha ashram, family ashram, one should know how to come out of it. And how to know that? But the scriptures clearly say, Pancham Dashit Gacchati. At the age of 15, one should retract all family obligations and come full time into spiritual life. It is there in the scriptures. It's there clearly mentioned. So you should know beforehand, before you get in, you should know, have to come out of also this. And full time engagement into Krishna consciousness. Now, this is not going to happen overnight. It's not that on your 50th birthday, suddenly you leave everything and you will become full-time Krishna consciousness. No, you won't be able to handle it. You won't be able to handle it. That's not possible overnight. So what you have to do? Slowly. Every time, every moment, every day, slowly find ways to detach from material life and attach to Krishna consciousness. In fact, you don't have to practice for detachment. You only have to practice attachment. By attaching into Krishna conscious activity slowly, automatically detachment from material life will happen. Translation. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty. For by working without attachment, one attains the supreme. So, our office work, our business work, we should do as a matter of duty. Office jana hai, taka kamana hai, business karna hai, taka kamana hai. So what will happen if there is any loss in business, you will not get affected because you are not attached to that business. If there is any demotion in the service, or if there is any sudden stop, sudden cessation of the service, there will be no, you will not be affected because you did all those as a matter of duty. Similarly, if there is any promotion or if there is any windfall profit in the business, you still will be not be affected because you know one thing very carefully. These happiness and sadness, these are like wheel of the these are like wheel of fortune. Wheel of fortune. That famous song by Elton John, Circle of Life. These things come and go, come and go. Purport. The Supreme is the personality of Godhead for the devotee and liberation for the impersonalists. First sentence, everybody understood? Purport? If you don't raise my hand, I'll understand that you all have understood. A person, therefore, acting for Krishna or in Krishna consciousness under proper guidance and without attachment to the result of the work is certainly making progress towards the supreme goal of life. Arjuna is told that he should fight in the battlefield of Kurukshetra for the interest of Krishna because Krishna wanted him to fight. To be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal attachment, but to act on behalf of the Supreme is to act without attachment for the result. Example of this, Rajiv Prabhu. To be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal attachment, but to act on behalf of the Supreme is to act without attachment for the result. Best example is Yudhishthir Maharaj. To be a truthful person, it's a very good activity, very good attribute. It's a very good habit. It's a very good quality of a person, of a gentleman. But when the Supreme Lord is telling, please lie, I am telling you to lie, please go and tell Ashwatthama Hatha. At that time, you show your honesty, you show your truthfulness. That becomes a sin. You tell, no, sir, please, I can't lie. I'm Yudhishthir Maharaj. The society know that I am a truthful person. I can't lie. No. Dharmatu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. The Supreme Lord is telling you to lie. Dharmatu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Your honesty and your truthfulness, tel lene gaya. Yes, Rajiv Prabhu.
Prabhu, so like in the case of Yudhishthir Maharaj, Krishna was personally there. So for Yudhishthir Maharaj, whatever Krishna was saying should have been the ultimate.
Yes.
But in our scenario, so the scriptures or the scriptural codes of dharma should be like it. It is naturally what comes final for us. Like whatever is mentioned in the scripture, like to be honest, is one like it is one of the.
For us, Krishna is not there. Krishna is representatives. So we should always be under guidance while going through scriptures. Otherwise, we'll misinterpret and we'll fall into trouble. And we'll be quoting scriptures.
Okay.
Always there should be guidance. Abhishek Prabhu.
Riksha Babuji, did Yudhishthir suffer any repercussion for that? He did not listen to Krishna.
Yeah, because he's truthful, Yudhishthir. The whole society knows him to be the honest person who never lies. So he continued that. Krishna is telling him, please say that. He refused. Then Krishna had to find a middle path. He said, okay, please tell Ashwatthama Hatha iti gaja. Right? So, that is perfect action of highest degree recommended by the SPOG, Sri Krishna. Vedic rituals like prescribed sacrifices are performed for purification of impious activities that were performed in the field of sense gratification. समझ में आया फर्स्ट सेंटेंस? But action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reactions of evil or good work. A Krishna conscious person has no attachment for the results, but acts on behalf of Krishna alone. He engages in all kinds of activities, but is completely non-attached. Everybody understood the first sentence of this para? Yes, Shivani Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु स्टार्टिंग का कुछ लाइन था कि परफॉर्म्ड इन द फील्ड ऑफ सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन वो समझ में नहीं आया.
Okay, thank you. I'll reread the sentence. Yeah, please mute yourself. Yeah. Vedic rituals like prescribed sacrifices are performed for purification of impious activities. So something like, for example, Lord Ramachandra killed a Brahmana Ravana, so he had to perform as a counteractive measure. He had to perform some yajna and he had to worship Shiva. Correct? Okay. So Vedic rituals like prescribed sacrifices are performed for purification of impious activities that were performed in field of sense gratification. So early there was some sense gratification. To counteract that, we had to do some Vedic ritual, some yajna. That's what it means. Is it clear? But when you are in Krishna consciousness, you don't have to do anything counteractive measures. You just do Krishna conscious activities. Automatically, all the earlier sense enjoyment will get nullified. आगे जितना भी आपने sense enjoyment के लिए जो भी काम किया, sinful काम हो या pious activities हो, all will get nullified because one has come into Krishna consciousness. One need not do any counteractive measures. Is it clear? Ankita Mataji, Rajiv Prabhu? 100% clear? Yes, Rajiv Prabhu?
Prabhu, so I had read or heard somewhere a long time ago that we cannot, like, suppose I have committed some sin, so it is not that if I commit another pious activity that gets cancelled.
No, but
So
you can do some yajnas to counteract it. You have done some sins, but you can perform some Vedic rituals to counteract it. That is there, given in the scriptures.
Okay, so it's not like for pious activity I have to
No, that is a separate
get the result.
for sinful activities, you have to do some pious activities to counteract. No. But for sinful activities, you will get pitai. For pious activities, you will get mithai. You cannot counteract. That is true. But at the same time, Rajiv Prabhu, Vedic scriptures gives many ways out. By doing some yajnas, you can counteract all these impious activities. It is given in the scriptures. I gave an example of killing a Brahmana. Ravana was son of Vishishrava. He was a Brahmana. So son of a Brahmana is a Brahmana. Maybe he is Asuric. So Lord Ramachandra killed a Brahmana. So to counteractive measures was to perform yajna, perform some puja, to Lord Shiva. He did that because he was a king. He was not a god at that time. He was Maryada Purushottam. He was a king. He came as a king. Ankita Mataji.
হরে কৃষ্ণ প্রভুজি, বলছি কৃষ্ণ ভাবনায় আসার পরেও কোনো ব্যক্তি মানে পুরোপুরি কৃষ্ণ ভাবনামৃত হওয়ার আগেও হয়তো সে কৃষ্ণের কাছে আসছে কিছু পাওয়ার আশায় বা কিছু কর্মফলের মানে কিছু পাবো, হ্যাঁ, এই ইন্টেনশন নিয়ে আসছে, সেক্ষেত্রেও কি ভগবানের সেবা করলে সে কিছু তার কোনো মানে ভোক্তা মানে শুভ অশুভ কোনো কর্মবন্ধন তাদের থাকে না, মানে হয় না, মানে কিছু পাওয়ার আশা নিয়েও যদি কেউ কৃষ্ণের সেবা করে? এখানে তো বলছে ভক্ত সম্পূর্ণ অনাসক্ত ভাবে কৃষ্ণের কর্ম করেন, কিন্তু কেউ যদি কোনো কিছু আসক্তি নিয়েও ভগবানের সেবা করে
সেক্ষেত্রে কি
মানে সেক্ষেত্রেও কি মানে তার জন্য কি একই মানে তার কোনো কর্মফল সেটাতে যোগ হবে না, মানে কোনো কিছু পাওয়ার আশা নিয়েও যদি ভগবানের সেবা করে?
কোনো কিছু পাওয়ার আশা নিয়েও যদি কেউ ভগবানের সেবা করে, সেবাটাকেই প্রাধান্য দেবে ভগবান। আর যে পাওয়ার আশায় এসছে ভগবান দেবে কি
কিছু একটা পাপ করেছে, সে ভাবছে যে আমি কৃষ্ণের সেবা করলে পাপটার থেকে আমি মুক্ত হয়ে যাব।
আচ্ছা, এটা পুরো আলাদা জিনিস হয়ে গেল।
হ্যাঁ, মানে দুটোই ভাবছে।
কাউন্টারঅ্যাক্টিভ মেজারের জন্য।
হ্যাঁ,
তো এটা ভগবানের উপর পুরো চলে আসে জিনিসটা। দেখুন, যখন কেউ ভগবানের শরণাগত হয়, সেই পাপটা কি হবে? ধরুন পাপ করেছে বলে ভগবানের সেবা করছে। ফর এক্সাম্পল, আইল গিভ এন এক্সাম্পল. প্রভুপাদ gives this example of abortion. প্রভুপাদ অনেকবার অনেক জায়গায় পড়ে লিখছে, a person who aborts a child in the womb, it's a very common practice in modern world. He never gets to see the sun. সে সূর্য দর্শন করতে পারে না, কারণ কি সে একটি গর্ভ সন্তানকে হত্যা করে। ওই জন্য, বিকজ দ্য চাইল্ড ক্যানট সি দ্য সান, বিফোর সিইং দ্য সান হি লেফট হিজ বডি অর হার বডি। দ্য প্যারেন্টস get sinful action. They never get to see the sun, 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 for the next few lives. Okay. Now, one who comes into Krishna consciousness, these sins can be counteracted in 3 ways. আমি এটা আগেও ক্লাসে বলেছিলাম। 1, if Krishna wants, now আমি Krishna wants বলবো, কারণ কি যেহেতু সে ভগবানের আশ্রয় নিয়েছে, জিনিসটা ভগবানের হাতে চলে আসে। আর যদি ভগবানের আশ্রয় না নিত, তাহলে লজ অফ নেচারে চলে আসতো, মানে দুর্গাদেবী করতো তাহলে, বা চিত্রগুপ্ত করতো। Because that person took shelter of Supreme Lord Krishna, he can do 3 things. 1, he can nullify the entire sin. পুরো রাবার দিয়ে মুছে দিতে পারে, যাও তোমার কিছু প্রবলেম হবে না। Second, he can reduce the reaction. হয়তো अगला 3 लाइफ उनको सूर्य दर्शन नहीं होता, instead of 3 lives, 1 life. He can do that, correct? Or he can do another third thing. He can put some anesthesia, and even if he goes through the pain, he will not be affected. আমি এটা বলেছিলাম আগের দিন মনে হয়। So in these 3 cases, Krishna can take measures, because he has come to Krishna. Had he not come to Krishna, what would have happened? Laws of nature will take care. जैसा करनी वैसा भरनी. You understand laws of nature? जैसा करनी वैसा भरनी. मनु संहिता देखेगा चित्रगुप्त, oh, he killed 1 child, he will be penalized for the next 3 lives. जैसा करनी वैसा भरनी. But because he came into Krishna's ashraya, that's why Krishna will take the decision. अभिषेक
प्रभु जी, दीक्षा लेके भी मैं कहीं सुन रहा था कि लोगों का मिसकंसेप्शन होता है कि मैं अगर दीक्षा ले लिया तो मेरा तो सारा कर्म फल मेरे गुरु ले लेंगे, तो मतलब मुक्ति हो जाएगी।
Absolutely. Misconception.
तो वो गलत ही है ना?
Yes. At the same time, Guru also has an obligation to check his devotee. अयोग्य व्यक्ति को दीक्षा देना, वो उसीलिए गुरु को भोगना पड़ता है। Because this fellow came thinking that all the sins would be taken by my spiritual master. So that means this person was unqualified. Correct? Such unqualified person given diksha, that is also wrong.
प्रभु जी, पूरा पता लगाना भी तो बहुत मुश्किल है, बहुत लोग फेक भी करते हैं।
पता लगाना मुश्किल है, but फिर भी we have few measures, like, you know, see that he is following those 4 eggs and 16 rounds for 1 year. Then the latest is that in the initiation committee, I know that we have disciple course, correct? এখন disciple course আগে there is a Prabhupada course which has GBC has now introduced. ওটা কয়েকদিনের মধ্যেই float হবে. So these are all measures. এর অতিরিক্ত কি করতে পারেন? এরপরে যদি কেউ বদমাশ থাকে, কিছু করার কিছু এগুলো দিয়ে ছাটা হবে, বা ফিল্ট্রেশন প্রসেস, কিন্তু এর মধ্যে অনেক অযোগ্য ব্যক্তি বেরিয়ে যায়, কিছু করার নেই। গুরু ডিড হিজ পার্ট, গুরু অ্যান্ড জিবিসি ডিড দেয়ার পার্ট, বাকিটা কি করা যাবে? সো ওয়্যার আর উই? ইন শ্লোকা নাম্বার 20, कर्मण्येव हि संसिद्धिं आस्थिता जनकादय लोकसंग्राहम् एवापि संपस्यं कर्तुम् अर्हसि। Now Supreme Lord is further saying to Arjuna, kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely. Now Janaka, remember, he is one of the 12 Mahajanas. দ্বাদশ মহাজনের মধ্যে উনি একজন। Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. Purport. Please, somebody read. Yes, Abhishek Prabhu.
Purport. Kings like Janak were all self-realized souls. Consequently, they had no obligations to perform the prescribed duties in the Vedas. Nonetheless, they perform all prescribed activities just to set examples for the people in general.
Understood?
Janaka was the
Understood? Understood? Till now? লোক দেখানোর জন্য করতে হয়, সে রাজা না, নিলে প্রজারা বলবে আরে আমাদের রাজা মহাশয় কিছু করে না, আমরা কিছু করবো না। তাও প্রেসক্রাইব ডিউটিস গুলো করতে হয়েছে রাজাকে।
Prabhuji Janak,
ইয়াদ আচরিত শ্রেষ্ঠ তত্ত্ব দেবত্তর জানা। শ্রেষ্ঠ মহান ব্যক্তিরা যা করে সাধারণ ব্যক্তি সেগুলো ফলো করে। ইয়েস অভিষেক প্রভু।
राजा जनक को प्रभु जी कुछ राजऋषि या ऐसे भी कुछ बोलते थे ना?
राजऋषि, yes. Devotee kings are called Rajarshis. Yes. Continue.
Janaka was the father of Sita and father-in-law of Lord Sri Ram. Being a great devotee of the Lord, he was transcendentally situated, but because he was the king of Mithila, a subdivision of Bihar province in India, he had to teach his subjects how to perform prescribed duties.
Similarly, Lord Ramchandra need not worship Shiva to counteract killing of a Brahmana. He is not obligated, he is Supreme Lord. But still he did. Why he did? Because he was a king. Otherwise, the wrong message will go to the prajas, correct? Yeah, continue.
Lord Krishna and Arjun, the Lord's eternal friend, had no need to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra, but they fought to teach people in general that balance is also necessary in a situation where good arguments fail. Before the battle of Kurukshetra, every effort was made to avoid the war, even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the other party was determined to fight. So, for such a right cause, there is necessity for fighting. Although one who is situated in Krishna consciousness may not have any interest in the world, he still works to teach the public how to live and how to act. Experienced persons in Krishna consciousness can act in such a way that others will follow, and this is explained in the following verse.
Yad yadacharati shrestha
Yad
यद्
yad
यदाचरति
satta deve tarojana
Arjana
sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. Continue.
Whatever action is great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standard he set by exemplary acts, all the world pursues.
That's why these days, if any celebrity endorses any brand which is selling ill products, even the fans write comments. Even the fans and even the judiciary, catches hold of such celebrities and say, "Why did you endorse that brand? Did you ever take that product? Did you ever use that product? You never used personally, and you're endorsing that brand. Don't you know you are a celebrity? You have some responsibility towards the society. Whatever you perform, whatever act you do, whatever brand you endorse, the society is going to follow that." Nowadays ऐसा होता है ना? That's why I think one of the Bollywood heroes, he came out and apologized to his fans for advertising in a gutka ad. Correct? Purport?
People in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly before he begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya, or the ideal teacher. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principles of Shastra, that is, scriptures, to teach the common man. The teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of revealed scriptures. The revealed scriptures, like Manu Samhita and similar others, are considered the standard books to be followed by human society. Thus, the leader's teaching should be based on the principles of such standard sastras. One who desires to improve himself must follow the standard rules as they are practiced by the great teachers. The Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees, and that is the way of progress on the path of spiritual realization. The king or the executive head of the state, the father, and the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of moral and spiritual codes.
So these are authorities, the executive head of state, the father, the school teacher. There is a very nice verse in Bhagavatam. Whoever is a father should not do, whoever, a father should not be a father, a teacher should not be a teacher if he cannot, cross the ocean of birth and death of his dependents. ऐसा एक श्लोका है. The shloka is Guru na sasyat something. Just Google somebody. Prahlad Narsingh Prabhu. Guru na swat something. Guru na swat. Guru na swat. Amelia. Wonderful shloka.
5.5.18.
Yes.
5.5.18.
This chat box. Please, everybody see their chat box. Please repeat after me. Very, very nice, important shloka. Guru na saswat swajano nas. Guru na saswat swajano na saswat.
Guru Nasaswat
Pita na saswat janani na saswat. Devam na tatswan na patischa saswan. Namo chaidya samupeta mritum. Somebody read the translation, Rajiv Prabhu. Translation. Yes, Rajiv Prabhu.
One who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod.
Clear? Very important shloka. Name Partha. Yes, Abhishek Prabhu, you have a question? Okay. Name Parthasti Kartavyam.
Name
Partasti
Kartavyam.
Trishu Lokeshu Kinchana. Nanavaptam Avaptavyam. Varta eva cha karmani. Yes. Continue.
O son of Partha, there is no
नहीं
work
नहीं Partha
prescribed.
नहीं है.
Partha.
Pritha.
Pritha, okay. O son of Pritha, acha Kunti Mata. O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties.
Yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. See, Krishna is telling to Arjuna. I'm not obligated to do anything. I'm the supreme SPOG. Uh, You see, he doesn't directly say it. It's his humility. He's not saying directly, I'm the SPOG, that's why still I'm doing all these things. Yeah, purport.
Purport: the Supreme Personality of Godhead is described in the Vedic literature as follows: Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram Tam
No, 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 no,
Devatanam
no, no. See the construction of the sentence, of the shloka.
Tam
Now, see,
Ishwaranam
yeah,
तमीश्वरानं परमं महेश्वरं तं देवतानं परमं च दैत्वं पतिं पतीनां परमं परस्तद् विदाम देवं भुवनेशम् इदं न तस्य कर्वं करणं च विद्यत् न तत्समये च भयाधिकाश्च दृश्यते परस्य शक्तिर्विविधैव सृज्यते स्वाभाविका विकी जनन बलकृष्य च. The Supreme Lord is the controller of all the controllers, and he is the greatest of all the diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under his control. All entities are delegated with particular power only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supreme themselves. He is also worshipable by all demigods and is the supreme director of all directors. Therefore, he is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers and is worshipable by all. There is no one greater than him, and he is the supreme cause of all causes.
still he worships Lord Shiva for killing a Brahmana. He's not obligated to do anything. Yeah.
He does not
Actually,
possess
do
a
you know
bodily.
the main purpose behind this? To offer, offer puja to God Shiva, Lord Shiva. The main purpose, of course, there's one purpose to teach the public. See, I'm doing what everybody should do as per Vedic scriptures. But the main purpose is this acts. This is additional. I'm telling you all. Listen very carefully. The main purpose was to act as a filter for the unqualified people. Because of this one particular act of Lord Ramachandra, millions and thousands of people, they took Mayavad and worshipped demigod, especially Shivite. They became Shivites only because of this one particular act. एक लीला से इतना लोग फंस गया. So the unqualified will take this and tell, see, your Lord Ramachandra is worshipping Shiva. So Shiva is greater than Ramachandra. And they'll become Shivites. Yeah, continue.
He does not possess a bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. There is no difference between his body and his soul. He is absolute. All his senses are transcendental. Any one of his senses can perform the action of any other sense. Therefore, no one is greater than him or equal to him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus his deeds are automatically performed as a natural sequence. Svetasvatara Upanishad 6.7 to 8. Since everything is in full opulence in the personality of Godhead and is existing in full truth, there is no duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead to perform. One must,
Can sound be
one,
improved? Sound quality cannot be improved?
one who must receive the results of work and has designated duty. Is it clear now?
Yes, please read.
One who must receive the results of work and has some designated duties, but one who has nothing to achieve within the three planetary systems certainly has no duty. And yet Lord Krishna is engaged on the battlefield of Kurukshetra as the leader of the Kshatriyas, because the Kshatriyas are duty bound to give protection to the distressed. Although he is above all the regulations of the revealed scriptures, he does not he does not do anything that violates the revealed scriptures.
Clear? Anybody has any doubt in any sentence? কোনো জিনিস বোঝা যাচ্ছে না শুভঙ্কর প্রভু? यदि हि अहं न वर्तेयम् जातु धर्मेन्द्रिय धृत मम वर्तमानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वश. Please continue.
Translation: For if I ever failed to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path.
Tell me one thing, Sadrita Mataji. Why Lord Krishna is telling all these things to Arjuna? That see, I'm not obligated, still I'm following my duty. I'm the Supreme Lord, but still I'm following the duties. Why?
Because no one is equal or greater than him.
That is true. But why is he telling all this to Arjuna? So that he also performs his duty. So that he also performs his duty as a Kshatriya. That is the main purpose. Yes, translate purport.
Purport: in order to keep the balance of social tranquility for progress in spiritual life, there are traditional family usages meant for every civilized man. Although such rules and regulations are for the conditioned souls and not Lord Krishna, because he descended to establish the principles of religion, he followed the prescribed rules.
Pause,
Otherwise,
understood this? There are many social tranquility for progress in spiritual life. Can you give few examples? Social tranquility for progress in spiritual life. মা বাবাকে দেখাশোনা করা, আত্মীয় স্বজনদের দেখাশোনা করা. These are all social tranquility for progress in spiritual life. Yes. Lord Krishna was not obligated to take, but he also did. He also served his relatives. He was the head of Yadus, and the Yadavas, they also protected, it just came, no? Last purport, that he was the leader of the Yadus. Kurukshetra as the leader of the Kshatriyas, because the Kshatriyas are duty bound to give protection to the distressed. These are all social obligatory, but for spiritual progress. Why? Because by following Varnashram, you are making yourself favorable for spirituality. That's why Varnashram system is very important. Prabhupada also wanted to establish Varnashram. These were his final instructions. I did 50%. I'm leaving the rest 50 to you all. Any question? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? বোঝা যাচ্ছে প্রতিমা মাতাজি? না সব উপর দিয়ে যাচ্ছে? হ্যাঁ, টু মাচ ইনফরমেশন, 2 ঘন্টার মধ্যে বেশি ইনফরমেশন, ভেরি ডিফিকাল্ট। করার নেই। আসলে যারা অলরেডি একবার পড়েছে না, মানে 2-3বার পড়লে তারপরে এই জিনিসগুলো আলোচনা করলে জিনিসটা মজা পাবেন। নাহলে প্রথমবার যারা তাহলে তো মানে ভেরি ডিফিকাল্ট। Yes, Rajiv Prabhu.
Prabhu, so here when in the purport it is mentioned that he descended to establish the principle of religion. So by this what it signifies, like the social tranquility acts or the religion of devotional life, like with this statement?
I'll read in the statement. Although such rules and regulations are for the conditioned souls and not for Lord Krishna, because he descended to establish the principles of religion, he followed the prescribed rules. So he also followed the prescribed rules. He also got married. He also accepted an ashram. There was no need. but he still did. This is what it means. He also followed the social tranquility. He also followed Varnashram. There was no need. He's above Varnashram. He's Supreme Lord. But when he descended, he also followed Varnashram. Is the concept clear? So, Arjuna, you also follow. You are a Kshatriya, you also fight. Otherwise, common men would follow in his footsteps because he is the greatest authority. That's why Krishna also did all those social customs. From the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is understood that Lord Krishna was performing all the religious duties at home and out of home as required of a householder. Can you give where it is written in Srimad Bhagavatam? প্রশ্নটা বোঝা গেল কি করলাম? From the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is understood that Lord Krishna was performing all the religious duties at home and out of home. কোথায়? কে বলতে পারবেন? Yes, Rajiv Prabhu.
Prabhu, in Krishna book specifically, there is one chapter like about Krishna's past, like daily what he does from morning to.
Very
So
nice.
there Prabhupada mentions.
Very nice.
Like Bhagavatam I have not read. Krishna book.
Yes,
I
same
read.
thing. Same thing. 10th canto. Yes, Pratima Mataji.
প্রভু হরে কৃষ্ণ প্রভু, প্রভু যখন তিনি মানে গোয়ালবালদের সাথে আছেন, উনি গোয়ালবালদের মতোই গরু চড়াতে যাচ্ছেন, আবার ফিরছেন, মানে তাদের মতোই জীবন যাপন করছেন।
Very nice. Also, there is one chapter when Narad Muni visits Dwarika. He goes to 16,108 palaces and he sees Krishna in different palaces behaving differently, like a typical grihastha. In one palace, he is bathing his children. In one palace, he's playing Masha with his patranis. You all know this? There's a chapter. Janan? Janan, naki kyun? Okay. So Narad Muni was, Narad Muni was amused. The Supreme Lord, my goodness, he is doing all these homely activities like a family man. Next, shloka number 24. Actually, there is so much to speak in each and every shloka. There's so much. Prabhupada's purports are so nice, so juicy. There's so much rasa, so much juice in every purport, every sentence. So much to speak. But at the same time, we are following MI archive. So MI has given in table so much shlokas per class. So that we don't go wayward, You all have given the exam dates 21st, 22nd, whatever. Immediately,
22nd, Prabhu.
22nd. Immediately, when you all finish your syllabus, immediately there should be exam. These are the standards, MI standards. Why? So that you all are fresh. You all know what you all just studied immediately. Go and vomit. Vomit means you understood, na? ये तो बोले आपने बोला था vomit करना है. Shloka number 24. उत्सेदेयुर इमे लोका
उत्सीदेयो इमे लोका
न कुर्यं कर्म चेत अहम
न कुर्यं कर्म चेदहम्
शङ्करस्य च कर्ता स्वान् उपहन्यामि मा प्रजा There are a lot of struggle, lot of setbacks, adverse situation. Many students are well versed in Bengali. They have joined English class. Many students are well versed in well versed in Hindi, and they have joined in English class. There are so many challenges. Despite these challenges, a person, a devotee who is very sincere, very much determined that no, I will, language is not a barrier at all. I will still continue, persevere, give my 100% attention, and I'll complete my Bhakti Shastri course, and I will get highest. Why get highest? Well, marks doesn't matter. Yes, it matters. I want all of you all to get highest. All of you all to get, best scores. Give your 100%. And top Bhakti Shastri. If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings. Varna Shankara is unwanted population. Now see, the same thing in a twisted way, Krishna is saying. Before in previous chapter, Arjuna was concerned that if he fought the war, there would be Varna Shankar. Correct? Now Krishna is saying that because whatever I have done for the sake of honoring the Varnashram and to ensure that there is no Varna Shankar. Varna Shankara is unwanted population which disturbs the peace of the general society. This I hope everybody knows. Varna Shankar, why this can happen, how this happens, everybody knows, no? In order to check this social disturbance, there are prescribed rules and regulations by which the population can automatically become peaceful and organized for spiritual progress in life. When Lord Krishna descends, naturally he deals with such rules and regulations in order to maintain the prestige and necessity of such important performances. The Lord is the father of all living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to the Lord. Therefore, whenever there is general disregard of regulatory principles, the Lord himself descends and corrects the society. We should, however, note carefully that although we have to follow in the footsteps of the Lord, we still have to remember that we cannot imitate him. Following and imitating are not on the same level. We cannot imitate the Lord by lifting Govardhana hill, as the Lord did in his childhood. It is impossible for any human being. We have to follow his instructions, but we may not imitate him at any time. Srimad Bhagavatam affirms, Naitat samachare jatu manasapihi anishvara vinasyacharam modhyat yatha rudho abdhijam visham ishvaranam vacha satyam tatheva charitam kvachit visham yatsva vacho yuktam buddhi mamstat samacharit. One should simply follow the instructions of the Lord and his empowered servants. Their instructions are all good for us, and any intelligent person will perform them as instructed. However, one should guard against trying to imitate their actions. One should not try to drink the ocean of poison in imitation of Lord Shiva. We should always consider the position of the Ishwaras, or those who can actually control the movements of the sun and moon, as superiors. Without such power, one cannot imitate the Ishwaras, who are super powerful. Lord Shiva drank poison to the extent of swallowing an ocean. But if any common man tries to drink even a fragment of such poison, he will be killed. There are many pseudo-devotees of Lord Shiva who want to indulge in smoking ganja, marijuana, and similar intoxicating drugs, forgetting that by so imitating the acts of Lord Shiva, they are calling death very near. Similarly, there are some pseudo-devotees of Lord Krishna who pretend to imitate the Lord in his Rasa Leela, or dance of love, forgetting their inability to lift Govardhana hill. It is best, therefore, that one not try to imitate the powerful, but simply follow their instructions, nor should one try to occupy their post without qualification. There are so many incarnations of God without the power of the Supreme Godhead. Any sentence not understood? See, why we are going through each and every paragraph of purport, I'll tell you frankly. Many purports, paragraphs are not actually expansion of the translation. Like this last paragraph is talking about the difference between Anukaran and Anusharan, correct? It is no way related to the translation directly. But these are extra things which I don't want members of Bhakti Shastri students to miss. That's why I prefer to go through every paragraph of purport. नहीं तो रस नहीं मिलेगा. There are two kinds of purport. One, expansion of translation, and the other, few extra things, supplementary things. Usually in Bhakti Shastri, we just go through the paragraphs which has expansion or translation. That's it. But then you will miss Srila Prabhupada's purport. I mean, assuming that you all have not read intensely Bhagavad Gita before. Sloka number 25. Sakta karmanya vidvamso
Sakta karmanya
yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvams tatha saktas chikir surloka sangraham. Yes, Shalini Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu.
Please.
Why
is your video off for the past two classes?
Prabhu, I'm out of station, that's why.
Acha, that's why your video is off. People go out station, so video is off. Hare Krishna. Okay. Translation.
As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act but without attachment for the sake of leading people on the right path. A person in Krishna consciousness.
Everybody go through the translation. Purport.
A person in Krishna consciousness and a person not in Krishna consciousness are differentiated by different desires. A Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not conducive to development of Krishna consciousness. He may even act exactly like the ignorant person who is too much attached to material activity, but one is engaged in such activities for the satisfaction of his sense gratification, whereas the other is engaged for the satisfaction of Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can you give example, anybody? Then I will understand that you will have understood. A Krishna conscious person can be very sincere in his office work. But does it mean that he is attached to his office work? No.
প্রভুপাদের যিনি গুরু ছিলেন উনি জজ ছিলেন কিন্তু জজ থাকা এবং গৃহস্থ ছিলেন তবুও কিন্তু তিনি স্পিরিচুয়াল
Yes, very good example. These are magistrates. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was a magistrate. Somebody can say, "Arey, he's a devotee, but why has he taken up a magistrate duty?" And he's so doing it so perfectly that British Sarkar is building rail line to his house. Why? So that is not attachment. So one should not misunderstand. Rajiv Prabhu.
Prabhu, another example, like in the early days, how Srila Prabhupada's disciples, they would work in restaurants and other places to bring money.
Excellent, like Janan Prabhu. Yeah. Therefore,
the Krishna conscious person is required to show the people how to act and how to engage the results of action for the purpose of Krishna consciousness.
Excellent. Na buddhi bhedam janayed ajnanam karma sangitam joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. Please continue. Continue, Mataji.
so as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness.
Hari Bol. Very, 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 very important purport. Please reread.
So as not to
So as not to disturb the minds of ignorant men attached to fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. So devotees, the preachers should not tell the society, "Kaam mat karo, join our society." No, we should not tell people to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities. Purport.
Vedaishta sarvair aham eva vedya.
These are Bhagavad Gita shlokas, so read like Vedescha sarve rahameva vedya.
Vedaishta sarvair aham eva vedya. That is the end of all Vedic rituals. All rituals, all performance of sacrifices, and everything that is put into the Vedas, including all direction for material activities, are meant for understanding Krishna, who is the ultimate goal of life.
Hare Krishna.
But
See, this purport has no relation with the translation. So usually we skip these purports. Continue.
But because the conditioned souls do not know anything beyond sense gratification, they study the Vedas to that end. But through fruitive activities and sense gratification regulated by the Vedic rituals, one is gradually elevated to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a realized soul in Krishna consciousness should not disturb others in their activities or understanding, but he should act by showing how the results of all work can be dedicated to the service of Krishna.
Yeah, so we do not suggest people Sarvadharman Parityajya, join full time in Krishna consciousness, join Brahmacharya ashram, join the ashram. Do we say that to the society? No. So we say that you wherever whatever you are doing, continue doing, but also practice Krishna consciousness. Continue, Mataji.
The learned Krishna conscious person may act in such a way that the ignorant person working for sense gratification may learn how to act and how to behave. Although the ignorant man is not to be disturbed in his activities, a slightly developed Krishna conscious person may directly be engaged in the service of the Lord without waiting for other Vedic formulas. For this fortunate man, there is no need to follow the Vedic rituals because by direct Krishna consciousness, one can have all the results one would otherwise derive from the following one's prescribed duties.
Last sentence is very confusing, maybe, might be. But I see nobody confused. So we go to next sloka number 27. Prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha ahankara vimodatma kartahamiti manyate. Continue, please.
The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are actually carried out by the three modes of material nature. Purport. Two persons, one in Krishna consciousness and other in material consciousness, working on the same level, may appear to be working on the same platform, but there is a wide gulf of difference in their respective positions. The person in material consciousness is convinced by false ego that he is the doer of everything. He does not know that the mechanism of the body is produced by material nature which works under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. The materialistic person has no knowledge that ultimately he is under the control of Krishna. The person in false ego takes all credit for doing everything independently, and that is the symptom of his nescience. He does not know that this gross and subtle body is the creation of material nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as such, his bodily and mental activities should be engaged in the service of Krishna in Krishna consciousness. The ignorant man forgets that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Rishikesha, or the master of the senses of the material body, for due to his long misuse of senses in the sense gratification. He is factually bewildered by the false ego, who makes him forget his eternal relationship with Krishna.
It's a wonderful statement. For due to his long misuse of the senses and sense gratification, he is factually bewildered by the false ego. এমন কোন সেন্টেন্স আছে যেটা বোঝা গেল না? বাহ, I'm very fortunate, all pandits in class. ভালো ভালো। তত্ত্ববিত্তু মহাভাহো
तत्त्ववित्तो महाभाव
गुणकर्म विभागश गुणकर्म विभागयो
गुणकर्म विभागयो
गुणगुणेषु वर्तन्ते
गुणगुणेषु वर्तन्ते
इति मत्वा न सज्जते।
इति मत्वा न सज्जते।
Continue.
One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, O mighty armed, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the differences between work in devotion and work for fruitive results.
Please wait. Please reread, everybody on your mind, the translation. Very simple. Purport.
The knower of the absolute truth is convinced of his awkward position in material association. He knows that he is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, and that his position should not be in the material creation. He knows his real identity as part and parcel of the Supreme, who is eternal bliss and knowledge, and realizes that somehow or other he is entrapped in the material conception of life. In his pure state of existence, he is meant to dovetail his activities in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. He therefore engages himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness and becomes naturally unattached to the activities of the material senses, which are all circumstantial and temporary. He knows that his material condition of life is under the supreme control of the Lord. Consequently, he is not disturbed by all kinds of material reactions, which he considers to be the mercy of the Lord. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, one who knows the absolute truth in three different features, namely Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called Tattvavit, for he knows also his own factual position in relationship with the Supreme.
क्लियर मनिंदर प्रभु, समझ में आया? प्रकृते, या राजीव प्रभु.
Prabhu, just like two shlokas before.
Two shlokas before. Hold on. Shloka number
3.26, Prabhu.
26. Okay, why are you stuck to 26?
No, Prabhu, actually, I just was going through the closed book question for that.
Okay.
So, there it says like what qualifications are required for beginning practice of Krishna consciousness. And it says it is in 3.26. But like in the purport, did we come across that?
So
Like,
that we have to search doubt clearance session. এগুলো খুঁজে খুঁজে বের করতে হবে. That for that we have kept one doubt clearance session. Good. Thanks to Ankita Mataji. ঠিক আছে. That is your job to find out. কিছু বুঝতে পারছেন না তো আমায় বলুন.
okay,
এরকম অনেকগুলো আছে, আমিও এরকম অনেক নোট করে রেখেছি।
Fine. যেগুলো সবগুলো doubt
মানে
clearance.
পারপটটা পড়ে ঠিক পাওয়া যাচ্ছে না, মানে একটা দুটো পার্ট আছে তো কোয়েশ্চেনের, একটা কোয়েশ্চেনের আনসার পাওয়া যাচ্ছে, আরেকটা কোয়েশ্চেনের আনসার এক্স্যাক্টলি পাওয়া যাচ্ছে না।
Keep that for doubt clearance session. But in the purport, in the এগুলোর মধ্যে যদি কিছু না বুঝতে পারেন সেগুলো আমায় জিজ্ঞেস করুন। এই খোঁজাখুঁজির জিনিস এগুলো স্টুডেন্টসদের। ওকে। প্রকৃতির গুণ সম্মূঢ়া সজ্জন্তে গুণকর্মসু तान् अकृष्ण विदो मंदान् कृष्ण विन्न विचालयेत्। Yes, bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to performers' lack of knowledge. Persons who are unknowledgeable falsely identify with gross material consciousness and are fully of material designations. This body is a gift of material nature, and one who is too much attached to the bodily consciousness is called manda, or a lazy person without understanding of spirit soul. Ignorant men think of the body as the self. They accept bodily connections with others as kinsmanship, and the land in which the body is obtained is their object of worship, and they consider the formalities of religious rituals to be end in themselves. প্রত্যেকটা বোঝা গেল? Social work, nationalism, and altruism are some of the activities for such materially designated person. Under the spell of such designations, they are always busy in the material field. For them, spiritual realization is a myth, so they are not interested. Yes, Shivani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Here, what does altruism mean?
Some kind of welfare activities. Social work, nationalism, opening of hospitals. Let's see, I think these are all welfare activities, altruism. ALTRU, altruist, spelling ISM. Altruism meaning selfless concern for the well-being of others. All well-being of others like social activities, etc. Yeah. Those who are enlightened in spiritual life, however, should not try to agitate such materially engrossed persons. Better to prosecute one's own spiritual activities silently. Such bewildered person may be engaged in such primary moral principles of life as non-violence and similar materially benevolent work. বোঝা গেল? Bah, very nice. Men who are ignorant. Yes, Shivani Mataji.
Prabhuji, here it is saying that we should not try to agitate such materially engrossed persons, but at the same time we see that we should preach about Krishna to the people in general, not like ek baar mein nahi thona, but slowly like you chant Hare Krishna. How to understand these two?
True, but somebody who is very much materially engaged, it's very difficult to Bhogeshwariya Prashaktanam Chaya Tayapitasham Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadho Navidhi. One who is very Bhoga Aishwarya, one who is very much engrossed in some kind of social activity, very difficult to bring that fellow. Very difficult. He's got so much false ego. You can imagine why is he involved so much into social welfare? Because his false ego limit is very high. Very high. Very difficult to bring such person into Krishna consciousness. That's why it's written, better to prosecute one's own spiritual activity silently. अपना भजन कीर्तन अच्छा से करो.
সেক্ষেত্রে আমাদের তো নাম অপরাধও হয়ে যায় না প্রভুজি, বারবার কাউকে বলছি শুনছি।
हाँ वेरी नाइस। और श्रद्धालु व्यक्ति को हाँ बार बार वो बोलते भाई यही 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 मेन चीज है, यही तुम लोग इस्कॉन वाले सब अस्पताल अस्पताल नहीं खोलते हो, हाँ, सब बेकार पैसा वेस्ट करते हो इतना बढ़िया बढ़िया मंदिर बनाने में, ऐसा बोलेगा and he'll have अपराध, so it's better to leave him alone बाबा and you practice your Krishna consciousness silently. That's what Prabhupada is hinting. Men who are where are we now? Men who are ignorant. We have finished this para. Men who are ignorant cannot appreciate activities in Krishna consciousness, and therefore Lord Krishna advises us not to disturb them and simply waste valuable time. But the devotees of the Lord are more kind. Ankita Mataji. Tao chhare na pechon. Devotees are Lord of many very very kind, and then the Lord, because they understand the purpose of the Lord. Consequently, they undertake all kinds of risk, even to the point of approaching ignorant men try to engage them in the act of Krishna consciousness, which are absolutely necessary for the human being. So although the Lord is saying छोड़ दो इन लोगों को, still the devotees are very kind, फिर भी पीछे पड़ा रहता है. मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि
सर्वाणि कर्माणि
सन्न्यास्याध्यात्मचेतस
सन्न्यासात्मचेतसा
निराशीर्निर्ममो भूत्वा
निराशीर्निर्ममो भूत्वा
यस्व विगता ज्वरा. Therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your work unto me with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. This verse clearly indicates the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord instructs that one has to become fully Krishna conscious to discharge duties, as if in military discipline. Such an injunction may make things a little difficult. Nevertheless, duties must be carried out with dependence on Krishna, because that is the constitutional position of the living entity. The living entity cannot be happy independent of the cooperation of the Lord, because the eternal constitution position of the Lord is to become subordinate to the desires of the Lord. Sorry, because the eternal constitutional position of the living entity is to become subordinate to the desires of the Lord. 100% মন দিন, না হলে পারপট বুঝতে পারবেন না, সব কোথায় বেরিয়ে যাবে আগে থেকে, হঠাৎ বাদবেন কোথায় জমি আছি, where am I am lost. 100% কনসেন্ট্রেশন দিন, না হলে পারপটটাকে এনজয় করতে পারবেন না প্রভুপাদের. Arjuna was therefore ordered by Sri Krishna to fight as if the Lord were his military commander. One has to sacrifice everything for the goodwill of the Supreme Lord, and at the same time discharge prescribed duties without claiming proprietorship. Arjuna did not have to consider the order of the Lord. He had only to execute his order. The Supreme Lord is the soul of all souls. Therefore, one who depends solely and wholly on the Supreme Soul without personal consideration, or in other words, one who is fully Krishna conscious, is called Adhyatma Chetas. Nirasi means that one has to act on the order of the master, but should not expect fruitive results. The cashier may count millions of dollars for his employer, but he does not claim a cent for himself. Similarly, one has to realize that nothing in the world belongs to any individual person, but that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. That is the real purport of Mai, or unto me. And when one acts in such Krishna consciousness, certainly he does not claim proprietorship over anything. This consciousness is called Nirmama, or nothing is mine. And if there is any reluctance to execute such a stern order, which is without consideration of so-called kinsmen in the bodily relationship, that reluctance should be thrown off. In this way, one may become Vigata Jwara, or without feverish mentality or lethargy. Bujha gelo? Everyone, according to his quality and position, has a particular type of work to discharge, and all such duties may be discharged in Krishna consciousness as described above. That will lead one to the path of liberation. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, this line, And if there is any reluctance to execute such a stern order, which is without consideration of so-called kinsmen in the bodily relationship. I didn't understand.
Stern order, go kill your kinsmen. They are all sinful people. Like this is what Arjuna is facing, no? Stern order. Krishna is saying, please fight. These are stern orders. Prabhupada gives some few sentences back military order, like the commander is ordering, go fight. And they fight against whom? My own relatives. Yes, stern order. Very harsh orders. Clear? And if there is any reluctance and so that's why he's reluctant, Arjuna, to execute such a stern order, which is without consideration of, you're not considering that they are my relatives. That reluctance should be thrown off. In this way, one may become Vigata Jwara, or without feverish mentality or lethargy. Ye me matam idam nityam. Sab boliye. Anutishtanti manava. Shraddhavanto anasuyanto. Muchyante te api karmabhi. Yes. Ankita Mataji, please read. Those persons
who execute their duties according to my injunctions and who follow this preaching faithfully without envy become free from the bondage of fruitive actions.
Purport.
Purport. The injunction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the essence of all Vedic wisdom and therefore is eternally true without exception. As the Vedas are eternal, so this truth of Krishna consciousness is also eternal. One should have firm faith in this injunction without envying the Lord. There are many philosophers who write comments on the Bhagavad Gita but have no faith in Krishna. They will never be liberated from the bondage of fruitive action. But an ordinary man with firm faith in the eternal injunctions of the Lord, even though unable to execute such orders, becomes liberated from the bondage of the law of karma.
Pause,
In
please.
the beginning,
somebody who has faith and somebody who does not have faith, the difference. Please continue.
In the beginning of Krishna consciousness, one may not fully discharge the injunctions.
Prabhuji, here it is saying that even though unable to execute such orders, when
He has, a person may have full faith in the words of Supreme Lord, but he does सर्व धर्मान परित्यज्य. प्रभु जी, मैं अपना फैमिली छोड़ नहीं पाऊंगा, मैं सब कुछ ड्यूटीज नहीं छोड़ पाऊंगा. Please, there are so many cases, but he has there are so many people who have full shraddha in the words of the Lord, but they are unable to execute all the instructions of the Lord. Very much possible, but still that person will get moksha, liberation मिल जाएगा. Well, how to give you examples? Bhishma Pitama, was he a devotee of the Lord? Yes. Did he follow exactly what the Lord wanted? Did he follow the path of religion? No, he was on the wrong side. But where did he go? Did he go to the hellish planets at the end of the life? No. Why? Because he had full shraddha of the Lord towards Lord. He's a devotee of Lord, pure devotee. Manindra Prabhu.
मुझे इसमें लिखा मनुष्य चाहिए कि भगवान से ईर्ष्या किए बिना, भगवान से ईर्ष्या क्यों कर रहा मनुष्य?
साउंड फिर से क्लियर करिए, समझा नहीं.
यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है थर्ड लाइन में, मनुष्य को चाहिए कि भगवान से ईर्ष्या किए बिना इस आदेश में दृढ़ विश्वास करे. भगवान से ईर्ष्या क्यों? भगवान पर विश्वास किया जा सकता है.
ईर्ष्या कर सकता है कि व्हाई विल आई लिसन टू यू, व्हाई विल आई लिसन टू द सुप्रीम लॉर्ड. आप कौन होते हो मेरे को इंस्ट्रक्शन देने का? आई विल एक्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू माय विम्स एंड फैंसीज. इन दिस सेंस इसको लीजिए, इस तरह से लीजिए. ईर्ष्या के बिना क्यों आपसे सुने, क्यों आपका बात सुनो? मेरा इंटेल बुद्धि नहीं है क्या? Why will I have Shraddha in your words? Number 32. ये त्वरेतत् अभ्यासूयन्तो
ये त्वय्यसूयन्तो
नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतम्
नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतम्
सर्वज्ञान विमूढंस्तन् विनास्तान् अचेतस But those, yeah, continue, Ankita Mataji.
But those who, out of envy, disregard these teachings and do not follow them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled and ruined in their endeavors for perfection.
डिसरिगार्ड दिस, इतना भगवान का ज्ञान डिसरिगार्ड दो, कौन सुनेगा इनका भगवत गीता? कौन सुनेगा? आई विल लिव अकॉर्डिंग टू माय इंटेलिजेंस. The flaws.
But the flaw of not being Krishna conscious is clearly stated herein, as there is punishment for disobedience to the order of the Supreme Executive Head, so there is certainly punishment for disobedience to the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A disobedient person, however great he may be, is ignorant of his own self and of the Supreme Brahman, Paramatma, and the personality of Godhead due to a vacant heart. Therefore, there is no hope of perfection of life for him.
So that's why envy word is very, very much suitable. Why is a person not following the instructions of the Lord? Because he is envious. वो सोचता है वही बड़ा है, उसी का उनका दिमाग चलेगा, क्यों दूसरे का बात सुनो, क्यों भगवान का बात सुनो? भगवान होते कौन है? That's why there is envy. Envy word is perfect, प्रभु. प्रतिमा माता जी.
प्रभु जी, मैं ऐसा सुनी हूँ कि हम लोग इच्छा करके यहाँ पे आए हैं, मतलब हम लोग भगवान से इच्छा किए हैं, इसलिए दुखालय में, तो फिर तो वैसे लोगों को तो फिर भक्ति देना ही नहीं है, या उनके भगवान के बारे में कोई और डिस्कशन या भक्ति में कोई शास्त्र ज्ञान नहीं देना चाहिए, ऐसा पिछले श्लोक में हमने सुना, ये पढ़ा. तो फिर भगवान क्यों इतना तत्पर है कि हमें फिर, हम लोग इच्छा पूर्वक है फिर भी हमें क्यों वापस ले जाने के लिए इतना अर्जुन को भी ज्ञान देंगे, है ना? ये मतलब ड्यूअल.
Very nice, very nice. Yes, still Lord is so merciful. Otherwise, Lord is very happy in his award. Still he's always so much conscious. Very, very. He feels very sad that so many souls are loitering out in the material world. So many. He repeatedly comes. He takes so many incarnations. He continuously does drama. जैसे हम लोग ड्रामा किए उस दिन स्टेज में, continuously he is doing other pastimes. Why? So that somehow these materially affected souls get attracted to one of the avatars. कितना अवतार लेते हैं भगवान? क्यों? अरे किसी में किसी का दिमाग लग जाए, किसी में किसी का हार्ट लग जाए. I have a medical appointment. ठीक है bro, no problem. Yes. Where are we? 33. We have read the shloka?
नहीं.
Shadrisham chestate swasya Kriter Gyanavan Api Prakritim Yanti Bhutani Nigraha Kim Karishyati. Yes. Sadrita Mataji, even
a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature.
What
for
is the sound?
everyone.
एक second. What is the sound? पंखा उनका चल रहा है क्या? Okay.
Yes.
Read.
Even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows the nature he has acquired from the three modes. What can repression accomplish?
Purport.
Unless one is situated on the transcendental platform of Krishna consciousness, he cannot get free from the influence of the modes of material nature, as it is confirmed by the Lord in the 7th chapter,
So
7.14.
by profession, Arjuna is a Kshatriya, so he should be in the mode of passion. Yes or no? So even if he retracts, he's saying that I'll not fight, and he goes and to a secluded place, and he said I'll meditate, I'll do. But still, he would be affected by that mode of passion, and maybe there also he'll do some fighting, because his nature, by his passion mode, he's in the mode of passion. That's what this shloka is about. Please read it the first sentence. Unless
One is situated on the transcendental platform of Krishna consciousness, he cannot get free from the influence of the modes of material nature, as it is confirmed
yeah,
by
Rajiv Prabhu.
the Lord.
Yes, Rajiv Prabhu.
Prabhu, so here in the translation it says, what can repression accomplish? But
Repression accomplished means, understood everybody? Repression means retraction. युद्ध नहीं करेंगे, इसमें क्या मिलेगा आपको? आप कहीं भी जाओगे, वहां भी जाकर फाइट ही करोगे, क्योंकि you are a Kshatriya, you are in the mode of passion. Yeah, question?
Question is, Prabhu, like here Krishna is saying, whatever is your nature, like you will act according to that. But in our Krishna conscious life, we see that we are always, in every step, we are trying to repress. Like we are trying to go against our base nature. Like whatever we are accustomed to do, this is a little not clear for me, Prabhu.
So in Krishna consciousness, it's not that we try to repress, we try to engage in Krishna consciousness. And automatically those things go away. We don't try to quit smoking. We try to take prasadam, and slowly, smoking goes away. That is what Vishya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehita. Rasovarjam rasapyasya param drishtva nivartate. This is called act of replacement. We taste higher taste. So the lower taste automatically goes. So don't think that we try to retract. No. We try to engage our senses. There's a difference. Am I understood?
Okay, Prabhu.
Is it clear?
Like what you explained is clear, but the whole thing maybe after some classes or after some days.
What can repression accomplish? We don't keep on telling people who comes to our class, non-veg mat khao, smoking mat karo, aisa nahi. We promote, please have prashadam. Please take food, please accept, honor food which is sanctified. Please honor food which has been offered to the Supreme Lord. This is what we promote. This is what we advertise. This is what we recommend to our members. And slowly
Prabhu,
goes.
the austerities that we are performing, can we call that repression? Like, let's say.
First of all, it is not austerity. First of all, it is not austerity. Life in Krishna consciousness is blissful. When that's why people are ready to leave away those material life and come full time. Life in Krishna consciousness, when people take tasty prasadam, they feel that we should not eat non-veg, and there's so good prasadam. Why should we eat all those fish and egg and all that? So it is not. There is no sacrifice or something as such. Shalini Mataji.
Prabhu, is repression for yogis? And we are doing bhakti?
Yeah, you can say in that angle also. Yes. Yes, continue, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, basically like higher taste পেলে যখন lower taste চলে যাচ্ছে
Automatic চলে যায়, yeah. ওই বাইরের লোক ভাবে রে বেচারারা কিছুই খায় না, মাছ মাংস খায় না, কি কষ্টে আছে না জানি। ভুল, ওরা ভুল ভাবছে আমাদের ব্যাপারে। আমরা কি কষ্টে আছি? নো, কষ্টে ওরা আছে।
আমার মনে হয় প্রভু ওই মালা জপ করতে করতে এই টেস্টটা চেঞ্জ হয়।
হরিনামের এত পাওয়ারফুল ওটা।
প্রথমেই কাউকে 4 নিয়ম বললে সে পারবে না, কিন্তু যখন তার জপটা বাড়তে থাকে তখন আপনা হতেই ওগুলো তাকে ছেড়ে চলে যায়, তাকে কিছু ছাড়তে হয় না।
একদম ভক্তদের সঙ্গ, হরিনাম জপ, পুরো প্যাকেজ এটা 360 ডিগ্রি। থ্রু 360 মানে হোলিস্টিক অ্যাপ্রোচ, অটোমেটিক লোক ছেড়ে দেবে, 2-3 দিন, 1-2 মাস পর সবাই ছেড়ে দেবে যদি জুড়ে থাকে। কন্টিনিউ।
Therefore, even for the most highly educated person on the mundane plane, it is impossible to get out of entanglement of Maya simply by theoretical knowledge or by separating the soul from the body. There are many so called spiritualists who outwardly pose as advanced in science, but inwardly or privately are completely under particular modes of nature which they are unable to surpass.
বোঝা গেল? বাইরে
Academically,
সাধু দেখাচ্ছে,
one
ভেতরে কিন্তু সব ইন্দ্রতৃপ্তি ঘুরে বেড়াচ্ছে। আগে একাডেমিক্যালি
Academically, one may be very learned, but because of his long association with material nature, he is in bondage. Krishna consciousness helps one to get out of material entanglement, even though one may be engaged in his prescribed duties in terms of material existence. Therefore, without being fully in Krishna consciousness, one should not give up his occupational duties. No one should
বিকজ
suddenly.
আন্ডারস্টুড দিস সেন্টেন্স, ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট। 100% কৃষ্ণা কনসিয়াসনেস না হয়ে যদি সবকিছু ত্যাগ করে চলে যান, বেশি দিন টিকবেন না।
One should not give up his occupational duties. No one should suddenly give up his prescribed duties and become so called yogi or transcendentalist artificially. It is better to be situated in one's position and try to attain Krishna consciousness under superior training. Thus, one may be freed from the clutches of Krishna's Maya.
So that's why Arjuna, do not artificially renounce, instead fight the war. इंद्रियास्येन्द्रियास्यार्थे रागद्वेषौ व्यवस्थितौ तयोर्नवासम् आगच्छेत् कवि अस्य परिपन्थिनौ।
There are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self realization.
Remember, very important, Jai Mother Prabhu. Both attachment and aversion. Aversion was the opposite completely. Both might be stumbling blocks. Purport.
Those who are in Krishna consciousness are naturally reluctant to engage in material sense gratification. But those who are not in such consciousness should follow the rules and regulations of the revealed scriptures. Unrestricted sense enjoyment in the cause of material engagement, but one who follows the rules and regulations of the revealed scriptures does not become entangled by sense objects. For example, sex enjoyment is a necessity for the conditioned souls, and sex enjoyment is allowed under license of marriage ties. According to the scriptural injunctions, one is forbidden to engage in sex relationships with any woman other than one's wife. All other women are to be considered as one's mother. But in spite of such injunctions, a man is still inclined to have sex relationships with other women. These propensities are to be curbed, otherwise, they will be stumbling blocks on the path of self realization. As long as the material body is there, the necessities of the material body are allowed, but under rules and regulations. And yet, we should not rely upon the control of such alliances. One has to follow those rules and regulations unattached to them, because practice of sense gratification under regulation may also lead one to go astray, as much as there is always the chance of an accident, even on the royal roads. Although they may be very
So,
carefully.
even on royal road, so even great leaders of ISKCON, they also follow the four regulative principles, because there are accidents even on royal roads. Understood this? It's not that one who has transcendented, he has not to follow any rules and regulations. Vedic injunctions are not meant for him. No, no, it's not that. Accidents even might happen on royal roads. In fact, accidents happen more on royal roads. কোথায় বেশি অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হয়, রেড রোডে না চাঁদনি চকে? যেখানে একদম গ্র্যান্ড রোড, ওখানে আর ওখানে অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হলে আর বেশি আওয়াজ হবে। ওপর থেকে পড়লে বেশি ব্যথা পাবেন না ফার্স্ট রোড থেকে পড়লে? আগে
Although they may be carefully maintained, no one can guarantee that there will be no danger even on the safest road.
That's why
The
Prabhupada
sense
writes
in
that Krishna consciousness is like walking on razor blade in one of his purports. Razor blade. যখন তখন পা কেটে যেতে পারে। Walking on razor blade. Yeah.
the sense enjoyment spirit has been current a very long time, owing to material association. Therefore, in spite of regulated sense enjoyment, there is very chance of falling down. Therefore, any attachment for regulated sense enjoyment must also be avoided by all means. But attachment to Krishna consciousness or acting always in the loving service of Krishna detaches one from all kinds of sensory activities. Therefore, no one should try to be detached from Krishna consciousness at any stage of life. The whole purpose of detachment from all kinds of sense attachment is ultimately to become situated on the platform of Krishna consciousness.
Any line which you want explanation? Shreyan Swadharmo Viguna Paradharmat Swanushtitat Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya Paradharmo Bhava Bhayavaha. हाँ, पराधर्मो भयावह, दूसरे का चीज फॉलो करना, दैट इज मोर डेंजरस. You are a kshatriya, you be a kshatriya. You don't try to be a brahmana and go to a secluded place and leave the war. No, don't do that. Anuvar.
It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than others' duties perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in any another's duty, for to follow another path is dangerous. One should therefore discharge his prescribed duties in full Krishna consciousness rather than those prescribed for others. Materially, prescribed duties are duties enjoined according to one's uh, psychophysical condition under the spell of the moods of material nature.
Pause, please.
Spiritual duty.
This psychophysical condition is nothing but guna karma vibhagasha. समझ में आया सबको? Continue, please.
Spiritual duties are as ordered by the spiritual master for the transcendental service of Krishna. But whether material or spiritual, one should stick to his prescribed duties even up to death rather than imitate another's prescribed duties. Duties on the spiritual platform and and duties on the material platform may be different, but the principle of following the authorized direction is always good for the performers. When one is under the spell of the moods of material nature, one should follow the prescribed duties for his particular situation and should not imitate others. For example, a Brahmana who is in the mood of goodness is non-violent, whereas a Kshatriya who is in the mood of passion is allowed to be violent. As such, for a Kshatriya, it is better to be vanquished following the rules of violence than to imitate a Brahmana who follows the principle of non-violence. Everyone has to cleanse his heart by a gradual process, not abruptly. However, when one
Transcends.
transcends
Transcends.
transcends however when one transcends the mode of material nature and is fully situated in Krishna consciousness, he can perform anything and everything under the direction of bona fide spiritual master. In complete stage of Krishna
In
consciousness,
that,
in that complete stage of Krishna consciousness, the Kshatriya may act as Brahmana or a Brahmana may act as a Kshatriya.
বোঝা
In
গেল
the
এই জিনিসটা বোঝা গেল? So when a person has perfected, then he can do this. Then a Kshatriya can take up Brahmana quality. Because in Krishna consciousness we do so many things. We do pujari service. Then at the same pujari goes management and does management service. So when in a perfect state, then you can intermingle and do anything. Continue.
In the transcendental stage, the distinctions of the material world do not apply. For example, Vishwamitra was originally a Kshatriya, but later he acted as a Brahmana, whereas Parshurama was a Brahmana, but later on he acted as a Kshatriya. Being transcendentally situated, they could do so, but as long as one is on the material platform, he must perform his duties according to the modes of material nature. At the same time, he must have a full sense of Krishna consciousness.
I hope everybody understood this. Okay, we'll take 15 more minutes. Shubhankar Prabhu.
वो ये एक चीज समझ में नहीं आया, ब्राह्मण भी क्षत्रिय बन सकते हैं, ये चीज परशुराम जैसे है। उसके बाद हम लोग देखते हैं द्रोणाचार्य ब्राह्मण था, फिर भी वो वायलेंट था। तो इधर बोल रहे प्रभुपाद ब्राह्मण जो है वो मोड ऑफ गुडनेस पे रहे।
I'll give you example. In the transcendental stage, one can take up other service, not on the material stage. I will give example. Parab Puja Jayapatama Swami Gauru Maharaj, he is a Vaishnava. He is doing Archa Vigraha Sevan. He is preaching all over the world. But during acquiring land, he even fired bullets to dacoits in Mayapur. Okay. So in the transcendental plane, even a Brahmana can take the act of a Kshatriya if needed. Understood? Arjuna Vacha अथ केन प्रयुक्तयं पापं चरति पुरुष अनिच्छन् अपि वर्ष्णेय बलादिव नियोजित Arjuna said, yeah, continue.
Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? A living entity, as part and parcel of the Supreme, is originally spiritual, pure, and free from all the material contaminations. Therefore, by the nature, he is not subject to the sins of material world. But when he is in contact with material nature, he acts in many sinful ways without hesitation, and sometimes even against his will. As such, Arjuna's question to Krishna is very sanguine as to the perverted nature of living entities. Although the living entity sometimes does not want to act in sin, he is still forced to act. Sinful actions are not, however, impelled by the supersoul within, but are due to another cause, as the Lord explains in the next verse.
Clear? This is Arjuna's doubt. That क्या होता है जब somebody is forced to act? हम लोग को इच्छा नहीं कर रहा है,